We did it. Eilers Awards 2025. Success.
Respect.
Love the tux, by the way. Was that? I mean, we'll get into highlights, award recaps, debates. This is a fun episode because it happened mere hours ago. What was you have any immediate highlights or?
Well, the venue was great. The best venue by far.
It was pretty cool. So it was what's it called? Kaos, I think is like typically the nightclub. Traditionally, you get the ballroom vibe, and it's okay.
It feels a little bit like you're going to a wedding.
At a ballroom?
Yeah. Like you're at a wedding reception.
Yeah.
And this felt like, you're at like a show.
You're at the Oscars.
Like you got all of the screens.
Well,
with,
so
like,
many monitors, like on the ceiling and everything. I'm not a nightclub guy traditionally, which surprises no one.
Shock.
But I was going to say, but it probably pretty cool to hang out there because like every monitor, it was like a spiral of monitors on the ceiling. Oh, that'd be pretty cool if you were having a couple drinks. Yeah. I also liked, I felt like the premium seats where you're like a little bit to the side in like that banquette kind of booth vibe. Right. That was awesome. Because like if you're mostly spectating, that's the best seat to watch.
Oh, yeah.
If you're winning and you're way in the back, that's a tough look because then it's like the long march forward. But
you get 30 seconds of your walk-up song.
Yeah, you get the whole walk-up song,
You get the whole walk-up song.
Unlike some of the hosts that would just jump on stage right away. I was like, you get 2 beats of the walk-up music, and then that's it, yeah.
And I told you this, too. I said, don't start walking up until they call your name, because you have to let the song play out a little bit. You're going too fast.
Got to marinate the song.
You got to let it sit, because that's what they're wanting that. They're wanting to hear the music a bit and have a little break.
And then Palms, I heard a little secret. They added as a surprise those confetti cannons.
It was a surprise to everyone.
When it looked to larger awards, Best Online Content Provider and Best Land-Based Provider, however you call it, right? Best Overall. They had these big confetti cannons that went off. And
how would you feel if you were in the front row of that? Like I felt a little bit visually assaulted in like the side.
Yeah,
everyone was pretty surprised, but I feel like.
Well, the volume of it. Right?
Yeah, the volume alone was very jarring. Yeah. And then to have confetti flying in your face.
Hopefully you were done with your souffle, because otherwise you're just getting a mix of chocolate and confetti.
Everyone cover your drinks. Yeah, that was a really fun way to end that.
Surprised by the Palms taking it up another level. I'm giving credit to Peter. I don't know if he did it. He's coming on the show, so Peter's the confetti cannon guy.
We're going to credit the...
Palms at Large.
Well, the people who organized it, too.
Okay.
Like Tatum.
I told her yesterday. Good job.
Whoever else.
Yeah.
So. And you presented an award.
I did. It was fun. I had One Winged Dove was my walk-up song, so I don't know what Adam was trying to say about me with that selection, so I have to go really back and analyze that song and go, Adam, what are we doing, right? Like, what would you want your walk-up song to be? Like, so for those unfamiliar, like at the award show, Adam Krajcek of Eilers and Krajcek, he does the walk-up music, right? So for every presenter, for every winner, he has a song that he's picked out and says, all right, I know Mike or Hillary or whomever's coming up, and I'm playing this song.
I think I would want it to be anything late 90s, early 2000s hip-hop or rap. Just something like a complete juxtaposition of who I am. I would want like Biggie or something.
Yeah, Biggie would be good.
Totally
I was thinking
different.
For me, I was thinking if I was going in like a rap category, I'd want like Shimmy Shimmy Ya from like Wu-Tang. That opening riff, I feel like everyone would know it. I'm like, okay, that's a good.
I do feel like HBO was the low-key sponsor of the event because we had that intro video that was like very White Lotus themed.
Oh yeah, the video work was really strong.
Cool soundtrack, and then like the logos. A lot of the songs were pretty like HBO undercurrent.
Okay, so the White Lotus reference I understand is HBO. What made the music HBO? Just because it was like real.
No, they're like the soundtracks from the like Succession.
Oh, was it?
I think White Lotus was on there like 1 or 2 times for that theme song, but the whole vibe was kind of, I was picking up the vibe. Yeah. I don't know if that was the theme or if it was meant to be the theme.
Inspired by.
That's what I took out of that.
Box office right here.
Appreciate that. Because one year it was Yacht Rock, and that was not my favorite.
You're going to get some hate on that. There's a lot of Yacht Rock fans that listen to this.
And there was one time for the song, it was the Land Down Under song.
Yes.
But it was IGT who won it.
It wasn't an aristocrat winner. Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, like I was like, all right,
you
that was
an opportunity there. And I guess maybe it was like a swing and a miss. Like maybe they were just hoping for that. But I thought that was kind of
It's like, I'm assuming you know who won.
Yeah.
I assume the programming guys know who the winners are in advance. But
yeah.
I don't know if it was dramatic. I don't know if it was drama with the big 3, right? But it was interesting. I thought IGT had a great night, right? They seemed, I don't know why. Maybe I just wasn't expecting them to win as much. I feel like normally these shows have been like, well, it's Light and Wonder, Aristocrat. IGT did a fair amount of winning. I don't have we could pull the count. I don't have the exact count. Light and Wonder won more awards quantity than, let's say, Aristocrat. I know those tend to be like the rivals, yeah? But Aristocrat won best overall. Is it better to be able to walk out of there and go, we got 6 or whatever number, or do you just say, hey, we didn't get 6, but we got the big one?
Oh, like quantity
Like
over
best
quality.
picture at the Oscars. Like, what's your
Here's
thoughts
the
on
thing.
that?
I think it boils down to which one do the most important people present.
Okay.
That adds some value.
Okay.
And which one do the canons go off for?
So there you go.
The end of the night, like, that's the one that everybody wants.
Though I did present Most Improved Online, so I feel like that was a pretty important award based on what you're saying now. I just mean nothing to no one. You're like, if the important people are presenting the award, I'm like, wait a minute, I did a Most
I don't know.
Improved.
You had the
B
Dove
team.
song and
I'm the JV squad of presenters. No one's impressed by me. They're like, all right, guy, just get out of here.
So tell me some observations you had for the night.
Good or bad? Because there were some fails and there were some really cool moments. Like, do you prefer where should we start?
Okay. Because we had that great table.
We were
that
in a
could
banquette. It was awesome.
We were in a
Yeah.
banquette. We had just bird's eye view of the entire thing, and it was great. So
Yeah.
we had prime seating for people watching, which I did a lot of.
So I don't know names, okay? And even if I did, I probably
We're
wouldn't.
not naming names.
Well, I was going to say, even
not
if I
naming
did know the names, I'd probably just not try to embarrass anybody.
Yeah.
But I wrote down the note of table 15 guy. I've never seen a guy more relaxed at an award show
Yeah.
in my life, right? So this guy takes his jacket off. So he's in the white shirt now. You can see it clear as day because the rest of us are in our jackets still, so it's dark colors. I don't know if he rolled the cuff, but he had his hands in his pocket. He was kicked back like he's on the beach. Like he was just full lean, like just watching this thing. I'm like, that guy's having more fun than anybody. Because everyone else is sitting like, all right, I'm in my monkey suit and I got to do this. And, we're doing all that. And that guy couldn't care less. I was like, I don't know who that is, but shout out Table 15 guy who's just like a beach boy at the award show. Because I'm like, almost jealous.
If, like, Xanax was a person,
Yeah, exactly.
that was him. He was basically watching NFL football on Sunday afternoon. Just
Yeah.
here to take it in. I really appreciate, again, I'm not going to call it the table.
Yeah. Oh, you're not going to call it the table number?
Well, first of all, I don't remember the number. I just know the name of the table. There was a gentleman who, I'm going to guess he had some jet lag.
I hope.
There was a guy who was just fighting for his life to stay awake. And this guy was just putting in the work, but it was just not paying off. And he was
man.
like asleep for a good 10 seconds, and then the clapping would happen. And he would be like,
Go. I'm here. I'm around.
all
Yeah.
right. He was directly in front of me. And I was like, you know what? You probably have traveled a long way to get here. I'm going to say that.
I
Because
didn't even notice it. And then you're like, hey, this guy's stone cold asleep. I'm like, he is stone cold asleep. Like, look at this guy. I couldn't fall asleep in that scenario.
I'm here. What else do you want from me?
Yep.
I did really appreciate that one lady took a picture with her iPad. I thought that
What?
was really
I
nice.
missed. She had her iPad out
She had
and
her
like
iPad.
went up and took an iPad.
It was from her table, but she took
Oh, she was sitting at the table.
selected,
Oh, interesting.
quite a few photos from her iPad, and I thought, you know what, innovative. Maybe she was playing like a couple games of Scrabble, like Words
Yeah.
with Friends in between.
Yeah.
But yeah, I respected that. I thought overall the fashion was great.
No big fails.
No big fails. Not as many Jordans as I thought.
We definitely hit the under on Jordan.
Definitely hit the under on Jordans.
If we're continuing on kind of fails or interesting ones, a buddy of mine, you know him in the industry, you know him, a guy named Adam Whitehurst, right? So he was always fashion forward guy.
Mm-hmm.
We have a story from when I was younger because when you're coming up and you're just a guy, like you come out of college, you don't know anything really about fashion, especially. He would try to get us to dress at least a little better than the young gorillas that we were. And so we learned very quickly the rule of tie length. Okay, and I feel like we should just bring this to the forefront because we had a guy that worked with us, and he showed up proud as punch, and his tie went down to his belly button. So it was like this much room between his tie and the pants, and we immediately were like, "What are we doing here?" Right? And because the rule for gentlemen, and I'm granted not a great example of fashion, but I know this rule: the tie goes to the belt. A lot of guys last night with ties that were at the belly button rule.
Yeah, they had very long torsos as well. So it was like,
I get out.
got to the belly button, and then we still had another third of the torso to go.
Yeah. I was surprised by the quantity of mustaches. That's coming back. There's a lot of guys. They look good. So I don't have any hater stories. It's not like you look ridiculous. I think everybody that was rocking a mustache weirdly. Is that a thing? You're more in vogue on fashion and trend. It's cool to go long or
It's
short.
not
or
something I
mustache.
really clock on a regular basis, so I'm not sure. I didn't notice any handlebars in the room, did
No
you?
handlebars. No, they're all very neatly trimmed. It was just
Okay.
like it's
like
just
Burt
more-
Reynolds.
Yeah, I guess you can go. Yeah,
Okay.
iconic vibes, and I'm like,
Right.
it seems like it's
I
coming
mean, I
back.
kind of respect that. All the ladies looked amazing. They were
I
doing
agree.
great.
Okay, let me ask you this. I generally try to avoid commenting on women, their appearance at all, right?
That's smart.
Like, is it appropriate to go, man, you look amazing? Like, is that weird? Because I feel like there was people there that I know from before, completely platonic, that I, like, they were looking good. I'm like, I I should probably tell her she looks great, like leaning out or whatever it might be, but like, it just seems inappropriate. Is
I mean,
there
I
a
wouldn't
line
say,
there?
hey, you've been leaning out. I wouldn't say that.
Leaning out's not
But
the
I'd
phrase.
say,
Yeah, fine.
you look great tonight. I think that's
appropriate.
totally
All
a
right,
great
yeah, 'cause
compliment.
I always get so weird with that because I'm like, I don't know what the rules are anymore.
No,
feel
I don't think anyone would assume you're hitting on them if you're just like.
Well, with me, especially not.
like-
I was just curious on that because to your point, a lot of people look good. And I will say this, a lot of the guys put the tux on. So I feel, I don't know if it was, if we had any influence on that. A lot of people did reference the fact that or I should say you drove that in the video. I do feel like a lot of people are like, all right, bust out the tux. Almost to the point where if you didn't have one on, you seemed out of place.
Honestly, yeah, I think it was like probably in the 90% of people wearing tuxes, and very few were wearing ties. And if they were, I thought it looked nice.
Yeah,
I don't think I saw a single khaki in the room, which is great.
Khaki would have been the fail.
I would have not appreciated
Did you see any
that.
fashion fails?
I don't think I saw any. I mean, some shoe choices I wouldn't have made personally.
Sure.
I think mostly it was just tailoring issues. Like, if you're going to get those pants and wear them year after year, let's get them tailored. There were only male presenters this year.
Ooh.
So when people go up there, my eyes are going straight to those hems. And I'm
The hems, like where the tail. Nice.
going straight to those hems. And I want to see what length are we working with. Are we waiting for the floods or are we drowning? So what one are we? So that is kind of what I would say was maybe the fail for me. Shoes, they ran the gamut.
No.
So I saw some Jordans, but they looked nice, like Kenji's. His shoes,
Yeah.
I don't even know what they were, but they look
They were
great.
Jordans. They were Jordans.
Yep. You know what I also didn't see? I also didn't see any red jackets. Did you?
One. Just Alan, who had his Rockin' Rebels, because Alan's like a
Yeah.
distinguished fellow.
Yeah, but it was like nice. I mean, it was
it was
kind
a
of like,
tuxedo jacket. It was like, floral
yeah,
print.
it was a little bit like Hugh
Oh,
Hefner
you're no
vibes.
like popping red.
There was no
Yeah, right.
bright red movie theater
I was gonna say,
jacket
what'd you call it, the movie
in
theater?
sight,
Yeah.
and I love that.
Yeah.
My favorite dresses were, there was this purple dress
Okay.
from some girl from IGT. I don't know, looked great. It was
Okay.
like, did you see this?
No, I didn't.
It was kind of like
You're gonna have to carry the
iridescent
weight here.
purple.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Okay.
I also loved this red dress. I don't know what table she was at. It was like the front right.
Okay.
She had a red dress. It was really pretty. I looked at it a lot last night. I hope that's not weird, but I did appreciate that.
Not weird for me.
And then I liked Siobhan's dress.
Oh.
Siobhan Lane looked great.
You're shouting out dresses. You did not wear a dress yourself.
I did not
You
wear a
went
dress.
with tuxedo. I have so many questions, but let's start with how did that come to pass?
I mean, we've all been to these galas and these award shows, and I love dressing up, and I do it for me. I want to go big or go home.
Well, because you want some other girl on her podcast to go, I saw that green dress that Hillary wore, and wow. Right?
Yeah.
Like that's why I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah.
Pop it.
See, I'm doing it for the girls.
I
I'm doing it
assume
for the
so,
girls.
yeah. I've learned that as I got older.
I ordered like 7 dresses from Revolve, but they all came the day I was leaving, and they all were terrible
Okay.
for various reasons. We don't need to get into that. Shout out to Ariel from IGT.
Yeah.
And she said, did you find a dress yet? And I said, no, I didn't. And I was like, I got to go to Nordstrom tonight and just try to come up with something. And she said, it's a bummer you couldn't just wear a tux. And I was like, I'm going to fucking do it.
Yeah.
So,
Knock that out.
and
Yeah.
then we were talking, and you're like, I got to go pick up my rental
My
tux. And
tux,
I was
yeah.
like, take me with you. I
So
want to
good.
go.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
want to go do it.
Would you rather wear that or a dress?
First of all, I will say I was warm the entire night, which was
Oh,
so
'cause you had
nice
the
because
extra
I'm
jacket.
never
Yeah,
warm.
right,
I'm never
right.
warm. I'm always freezing. In the elevator, I was so hot.
Oh, well,
if
there's-
I'm hot, then you guys must be like sweating down your backs right
Yeah,
now.
probably.
You know, I have a whole new level of respect for
Yeah.
you guys who wear this. There's a lot of layers happening. No, there's nothing stretchy about any of this. There's no give. And maybe that's just the specific suit I'm in. I'm not sure. We got to dinner and I said, do I have to wear the jacket at dinner? And you said, yeah, you do.
Look
You don't
around.
take it.
Otherwise, you're gonna
Unless
be
you're at table 15.
Yeah, exactly. Then
You
do
keep
whatever
the
want.
jacket on. So I felt a little bit constricted
Yeah.
eating in the jacket. And then my bow tie did not last long. I took my tie off.
Well, you unfolded
White.
it, which was a
I
good look.
unfolded
I
it.
feel like that was good. Actually.
I said,
yeah.
you know, I feel like that's just going to be my vibe tonight. It was a big hit with the ladies.
I did hear that.
yeah.
Even a lot of ladies to me were like, "Hey, that was cool."
Also, I'm like, what else are they going to say? There's no other compliment for
Yeah,
that.
Yeah,
So-
nice. I'm not suggesting we have it harder as guys in our world, but it was nice to hear you go, oh, there are some downsides to the suits. I feel like sometimes you guys are like
Yeah.
wearing these form-fitting dresses and these super high heels, and that's the
Yeah.
expectation. And you're just sitting there in your nice suit, and it's like, all right, I get it. That's probably still the right directionally, but there are some some inconveniences to these.
No, so it was good. I enjoyed it. I think this will be my first and last time wearing it.
Back to a dress.
I would still say I stand by my still wear a tux to a black tie event. I
Yeah.
think that's, you
It
got
was
to do
good.
that.
Feel good moment of the night for me. So I'm going to just shout out. So I think, and it's kind of built a little bit. So people will actually, I'll tell the story as it happened. The listeners will hear it in reverse almost because this week we recorded because you're in town. Mm-hmm. So we did an interview with Dan Scrementi. right? So we'll tease that. So that's coming after because this will come out first. And he was talking about the journey that Incredible Technologies has been on of like, hey, they were doing pretty well, and then they kind of had a few missteps or had a few bad breaks and
Had a few bad years.
had a few bad years. Yeah, you go, and it's, look,
normal.
this is a cyclical business. Like, it's easy to go from top to bottom, and then you climb your way back. Like, it's not, no one stays on top forever. You usually don't stay on the bottom forever either. So that's the good news. But like, you know, and so he was going through it. He had a pandemic, he had a bunch of stuff he was working through. He's the prez, so he's got to like make a lot of hard decisions. And then they won Most Improved Supplier, right? So it's kind of like the Comeback Kids of the Year award, right? And I was like, I don't think there was anyone in that room that was unhappy with that selection. I don't want to say anyone cried about it. There was probably no tears, but it was pretty heartfelt.
I don't know. You looked a little misty-eyed.
I like, well, Dan's a good guy, right? And so you always root for the good guys. Not that they're, most people are good guys, but it was like one of those. Like, it's good to see him, 21 years in, sticking with it, getting it going. So,
What are some awards that weren't given out that could have been given out?
category nominees that we should propose for the future.
Tell me some categories that should have been on there but weren't.
Yeah, see, 5 years ago when we started this, we said, guys, there should be a best podcast, right? And we were kind
That's
of
because you were the only podcast.
That's right.
I would like a best marketing campaign one.
Oh, yeah.
I think that that needs to be in there. I think who would have won this year would probably would have been a tie.
Okay, tie it up.
Would have been a tie between Tiger and Dragon, Dragon and Tiger.
Okay.
The
Yeah, the IGT game. Yep.
Yes, the IGT
It was a
game.
great game.
It was a great campaign. And then probably the Huff and even more Ever
Chet.
Puff, Infinity Puff.
Chet Thunderstorm?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They each get half. I'm going to split in half. What would be like a ridiculous one?
Like this will never actually happen.
What would be one that they would never have on there? This new feature did not break.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see. So, like, bold move, and it actually worked out.
Yeah.
Like, surprisingly,
Yeah.
this whole thing didn't blow up in your
Everyone
face.
thought this was going to be terrible.
Yeah, we thought you were a bunch of idiots, but hey, turns out we were wrong. Yeah. I do think you could do, what is it, like the Razzies? Is that an award thing? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they give you, like, kind of failure. Or
Like,
like,
it didn't work, but you tried.
good swing and a
know?
miss. Yeah, like the old college try award. Yeah.
There has to be some people who are like, we're going, but like, there's no way we're going to win. Maybe you're a newer supplier or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like, you hope you win, but you're like, maybe I'm not going to win.
Mm-hmm.
But then you leave with, at least I got something.
So there's like the participation trophy.
Yeah, like,
we don't like that.
like,
Right? Winners win, and losers have to try to win next year.
but maybe you can be the best loser. Like, you
okay.
on the scale of how we rated this, we're not even close.
Struck out with
But-
class awards.
Struck out with
like you
class, yeah.
Nominated for more than anyone else, lost them all, and didn't seem to cry about it. So.
No, there has to be an award for people who were nominated for like a bunch of them, but didn't win any of them.
Yeah.
Like, well, you won the No Winners Award.
You won the At Least You Stayed Awake award because apparently that's a challenge. Yeah, that's interesting.
I want some people to feel a little bit of public shaming.
Perfect. For what?
Maybe I want people called out in the audience from people on stage. I wish you would have gone up there and like roasted a couple people nicely,
Yeah.
nicely, because we just need to. This is a room of like CEOs and like
Yeah.
whoever.
Principal game designers.
But
yeah.
the bottom line is nobody's safe. Okay.
Oh, for
like
sure.
everybody's up for grabs.
Well, what's interesting is a lot of the company's subcultures, or a lot of the people, let's just say the people there, right? Like that are CEOs or are big game designers, chief product guys, like whatever. When you get to know them, they're as much of like poking you as that, like they're,
Yeah.
I don't, the phrase is probably inappropriate, like they're ball busters, right? For lack of a better,
Yeah.
phrasing. And so it's like, so it exists in every sub piece of the room, but for some reason when we get together, we don't do it. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, now we have to be on our best, like mom's watching. We have to be on our best behavior. And it's like, where's
I don't
Mom's
like
at?
that. I don't
I'm
like
with you.
that.
Let's snark it up.
I think we need to have some People's Choice Awards mixed in.
Okay.
Because we need to bring it back to like power the people.
What are the people choosing?
They're choosing best walk-up song, worst walk-up song,
Yeah, see, that's cool.
You know what I mean?
I do think, and I don't know how
or
you
biggest
manage it.
upset, best dressed.
All in all, good year though. Fun event. Hopefully it's back at the Palms next year because that was a good time.
I will not be wearing a tux next year.
Yeah. You order,
If we're even invited, we don't know. We don't even know
we
these
make
things.
assumptions. This is our campaign to start next year. 365 days later, we went back in.
We're starting very early.
Yeah.
Okay.
Todd, don't ban us.
High five.
High foot 5. All right, thanks everybody. Catch you next year.